What a brilliant start by Rick. Oh, Mr. Schumacher, an awful start. And Aston gets into the lead, and Rick casting off that corner.
So much traffic up in front, but here comes Epic now pushing Tiger. Tiger goes defensive to the inside. Tiger on the inside. Epic will try to go round the outside. One corner to go. On the last lap, this is going to be insane. So here comes Dutchy as well. Tiger is going to look like it's going to win, but it's a drag race for seconds. And somehow,
He's got the DRS.
And here he goes then down this mini back straight. And now he's on the brake.
Pepperley now he's going to be looking for DRS here. There's 4 drivers going at it. Dirty Larry goes around the outside. Oh, let's have a look here. Oh, it's Pepperley's going around the outside. Oh, the inside. Gets on the inside line. Brilliantly done from the Mercedes driver. Wow.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another track guide here on Gavra Racing. And yeah, we're back in Gran Turismo Sport for probably my sort of favourite track slash combination between car and track. Well, it's not my, I wouldn't say it's my favourite track, but it's definitely up there with one of my favourites. It is the wonderful Lago Maggiore, also known as just Lake Maggiore, but it's Lago Maggiore in Italian. But yeah, Lago Maggiore, welcome. It's going to be a good track guide, this one. And yeah, let's get straight into it. Alright then, here we go. So, back in the Aston Martin, as I always seem to be in Group 3. 3rd season in a row now I'm going to be in this car, so it's going to be a good one. But yes, here we go, ignore the ghost. So down towards turn 1, okay, you're going to be braking. You can actually go quite late into turn 1. You can probably brake just before this fence ends on this, just before the fence ends on this right hand side. If your car hasn't got good enough braking, I know some of the cars really struggle to brake. The Aston is pretty good on its braking. It's probably one of the best cars in Group 3 in terms of its braking. You probably want to go a little bit earlier, maybe just after that 100 board. But what you want to do is don't want to. It's interesting because to get the most time out of this track, it's another one of those tracks where you've really got to have confidence in your car. You've really got to just send the car in there, and really hope for not hope for the best, but you've just got to have confidence in the way your car is. So for me, the Aston, I'm sending the car in. I'm braking. I'm starting to turn here now. The rear end sometimes will start to slide outwards. You want to avoid that, so you want to be turning in to try not to yank the car in. If you just sort of sharply turn the car in, the rear is going to fly outwards, okay? Try and keep the car sort of braking as in a straight line as possible, and then once you get the car to a slower speed, you can start to turn in, and that's when the rear won't start to wiggle as you're turning in. If you sort of slow speed, it shouldn't do that, okay? Down into second, using all of that curb on the inside, your car will drift out wide here, that's fine. Let the car drift out wide there. It doesn't matter because you're not going to compromise this corner, okay? So then you want to go down into first here and really just pull the car inwards around here, and then you pretty much get on the power just as this curb ends, and away you go, okay? Short shift if you need to into second, maybe a little short shift into third, and then pull the car over wide here, and then pull it round here, okay? Now you want to bring the car around here, you'll be up into 4th gear. So you just use a bit of that curb on the inside, bring the car to the centre of the track. You don't need to go all the way out wide, there's no need to. Bring the car to the centre of the track, and you probably want to start slowing the car down around about here, bringing the car back down into 2nd gear, which is what you want to be doing, okay? Then bringing the car across this curb, and then you can get on the power nice and early on this track. Now this track is just cut corner, cut corner, cut corner. Use the track limits, this track, because the game will allow you to do it, okay? So you want to be getting on the power. Your car will start to understeer out wide here, and you can pretty much use you can even go all the way out wide here if you want to, but trying to avoid that, try and keep these two wheels on the curb so you're not going to be running tremendously wide, because you run too wide, you're going to be losing too much time. But you can run wide out there, the game will allow you to do it, okay? Down into the next corner. So you come out of that corner, you're carrying some good speed, down into it's a very technical corner, this one. Very, very technical. You want to be braking just around where this grey bit here. So if you just reverse back a little bit there, see where this little grey curb here ends on the left-hand side? You want to be braking, start your braking just around here, possibly a little bit later if you can go a little bit later. And then you want to bring in the car. I bring it down into second. Some cars, depending on the gear ratio, you may be able to take this in third. See what works best for you. Obviously, just bring the car, hook it up nicely on the apex here near this yellow sausage curb. And then wait until you've got the car turned in a little bit more before you start putting the accelerator down. Otherwise, it's going to understeer out wide over here towards where that curb is over there. And you don't really want to go too far wide out here, okay? Then bring the car nicely over towards this curb here. And then you're up into the section where you will be cutting the most part of the track out of any of this track. This is the middle sector S's. Okay, there's 4 sectors in this track. So this is the second sector S's. Now, bring the car in, braking, not too much braking, but braking just as that grey and red bit starts on the right-hand side. Okay, down into third gear, okay? Using this curb, bring the car across. Now, you want to be situating your car about here on this, okay? Use this sort of almost mesh on top of this grass, because then you're not going to get bogged down into the grass. The mesh allows you to go fly over the curb, okay? So you can actually use the mesh here, and then bring the car over, and then as you brought the car over, you'll be shifted up into fourth, midway between here, bringing the car once again over. Remember, as long as you keep 2 wheels on that curb, like I am here, you will not receive a penalty. This whole middle sector, keep 2 wheels on the curb, you're not going to get a penalty for this, guys, okay? So it's pretty much the way to go. Then bring the car over here, bring the car all the way across here. You can do that, you won't get given a penalty. And then you may understeer out wide here, but that is fine. You can go all the way over that white line, all the way over onto that escape road there, where the part of the track comes down. That is fine. It doesn't matter. You will not get given a penalty for that. Okay? Same for up here. You'll be shifted up here. You can go all the way across this curve. You're not going to get a penalty for that. Down into probably one of my favourite parts of this track, and it is the big banked hairpin. And you'll start to see it here as you come over the crest of the hill, carrying some really good speed. A lovely overtaking zone this is. You're carrying so much speed out of those S's straight down into this corner here. So coming down here, so it's a weird one, this one, because it's a downhill, uphill braking zone. It's you're coming down the hill with speed, but then you're actually braking uphill. So it's quite weird actually the way this corner is. So you'll be coming down this hill, and then you see where this board is, which usually in the race will be just completely black, but in this here it's green. You want to be braking just about here. If you go a little bit later, you're gonna be prone to running wide. So you want to be braking maybe just around that black board, if not a tad bit later, just around the area here. Okay, then use this curb on this right hand side. You want to be going down into, I believe I use, I actually can't remember what I used. It's either second or third. I think it could be second for this corner. Yeah, I believe it might be second. So you want to use second here. If your car can use third, use third. Remember, personal preference, each car is different. Bring the car in, cut all the way across this curb on the inside. You can do that, okay? So make sure you cut all the way across this on the inside. Look how much I'm using here. Look how much the car is banked on this corner. Even more banking than Zandvoort. So bring the car across here. Wait until you feel like it's just a feeling of when you need to put your foot down on that. I don't really have a good sort of reference point for when you put your foot down, but just make sure you're going to put your foot down enough to run wide and not run wide onto the sand, is what that is on the outside there. So it's actually a sand trap. Now here, exit of there. So you've come out of the banked corner, you're carrying a ton of speed, you've made the overtake. Now bring the car over to this curb here. As the curb starts, that's when you want to start turning the car in fourth gear. Okay, so bring the car over. You want to be coming all the way across this curb here, shifting up into fifth here. Then coming all the way across this curb here, across the grass, that's fine. That allows you to make sure you're not understeering wide into that wall on the right-hand side, okay? Now, this next corner here, braking just before this 50-meter board here. So you will be braking just before the 50-meter board, a little bit of a downhill braking zone. Bring the car across here. Remember, using this mesh on the inside again, okay? Just allows you to get the car turned in, get a nice cut a bit more of the track, come out wide onto this curb here. You don't want to use too much of that curb. Then a little bit of braking, turn the car in. You don't want to use that mesh on that outside though, because the car will get unsettled on how the way the curb is. So just use the curb here on this here and bring the car out over here. The curb starts a little bit later than it should do. Now, a thing is here, there is a part here where you will get given a penalty. If you run wide, which a lot of people do, will run wide over here, you'll get a penalty for this, okay? You will get a penalty if you run wide. Okay, a lot of people, they miss this curb just by just a tiny bit. Say they run wide about here, you're going to get a penalty for this. For this here, you'll get a penalty. However, if you, for example, I'll come back on the track here, I'll just go in the chase cam to show you. Say you're coming out of that corner here, and you've come out of this corner, and you're understeering wide. You can put 2 wheels on the grass here. You don't want to put 2 wheels on the grass for too long, but then the curb will allow you to gain that traction back. For me personally, I think that curb should be situated a bit further back, just to allow you so you can run a little bit wider over there onto that one. But yeah, remember, use that curb. Make sure you have 2 wheels on the track, 2 wheels on the curb, and you'll be fine. Over to the final corner, which is crucial for getting a turn 1 overtake. It is so important, this corner. It is really important on this track, especially if you're on the final lap. Braking just as the curb ends here, so just around about where that 50-meter board is on the right hand side there. You can see it over there. Braking just about there, and then you'll be in 5th gear. Bring it down into 3rd, okay? Now pull the car all the way across here, okay? Yeah, 2 wheels over the curb if you need to. If you can't do that, just make sure you have all the car on the curb. Then bring it up into 4th. You're probably going to understeer wide over here. That's fine. Bring it to the line here, and then using a bit of that curb, and then it is a straight run down to the line. Especially in the race, you want to be going for an overtake into turn 1, and that is the wonderful Lago Maggiore here in Gran Turismo Sport. Brilliant. Okay, so now we're going to get on to the hot lap here. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining. I hope that helped you guys all out around here at Lago Maggiore. Make sure you tune in for the GT Sport race this week around Lago Maggiore in the Group 3 we are in now. For the next 4 races will be Group 3. And yeah, make sure you tune in for them. And I will see you guys all in the next track guide video.